The Kremlin appears to have received a so-called final warning from NATO regarding the situation with provocations by Russian military aircraft near the alliance's borders. As Bloomberg reports, a tense meeting involving representatives of Great Britain, France and Germany took place in Moscow this week, at which the Allies announced to the Russian side NATO's readiness to shoot down Russian military aircraft that violate the agreement. European diplomats expressed concern over the violation of Estonian borders by Russian MiG-31 fighter jets last week. According to the agency's sources, diplomats emphasized that NATO is prepared to respond to repeated violations, including the possibility of using force, including downing Russian aircraft. For his part, the Russian representative made it clear that Russian air incursions into NATO territory were a response to Ukrainian attacks on Russian targets in occupied Crimea. He stated that these operations would not have been possible without support from the North Atlantic Alliance, the report states. Meanwhile, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte supported US President Donald Trump's statement that NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if necessary. The official told Fox News that the alliance's military is ready to carry out such tasks. We've known how to do this for over 40 to 50 years, ever since Soviet times, the Secretary General noted. According to Rutte, pilots must assess the situation in each specific case and decide on further action. This could be either simply escorting or other measures. Experts believe that NATO could also be hit as a result of retaliatory strikes. Recall on September the 25th, Russian military aircraft were again spotted near NATO borders, but were intercepted by Hungarian Air Force Gripen fighters. A violation of Alliance airspace was prevented. According to the North Atlantic Alliance's Joint Air Command, 5 Russian military aircraft, an Su-30, Su-35 and 3 MiG-31s were flying along the coast of Latvia towards Denmark, ignoring international safety regulations. 2 Hungarian Gripen fighters stationed at Šaulė Air Base in Lithuania were dispatched to meet them. After escorting the intruders and assessing the situation, they returned to base. No incursion into NATO airspace was permitted. It's noteworthy that the Russian aircraft were intercepted by fighter jets from Hungary, a country the Kremlin is using to destabilize the EU and divide allies by exploiting the differences between Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán's government and Brussels. However, today's episode demonstrated that despite all the political gamesmanship of the government in Budapest, Hungary is a NATO combat unit ready to fulfill its obligations to defend its allies, including from Russian threats. It should be noted that Russia has recently increased the number of aerial provocations near NATO borders, which is forcing allies to discuss radical responses to the actions of the aggressor country, including shooting down Russian aircraft flying into the territory of alliance countries.
President Donald Trump blamed the radical left Democrats for a rise in political violence in the country and warned their games could cause bad things to happen. The radical left Democrats are causing this problem, Trump said during an Oval Office meeting with Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. They're out of control. The right is a lot tougher than the left. But the right's not doing this, Trump said to reporters. It gets worse, and it'll be a point where other people won't take it anymore. And that will not be good for the radical left, and we don't want that, he added. According to Associated Press, his comments come a day after he vowed there would be more crackdowns against left-leaning groups to come, saying he would sign an executive order in coming days to dismantle domestic terrorism networks. Trump also told reporters he doesn't know what his Department of Justice will do about indicting James Comey. Asked about a possible federal indictment of the former FBI director, Trump said he's not sure what will happen and that department lawyers will decide. He named Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, and Lindsay Halligan, whom Trump recently named to be the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia. Trump, who dislikes Comey because of his investigation into Russian ties to Trump's 2016 presidential campaign, disparaged Comey as a sick and bad person. "I have no idea what's going to happen," he said. Trump also said he's going to take some of the money raised from his import taxes and give it to farmers, for a little while. American farmers growing soybeans have been hurt financially by the loss of China as a buyer of their crops, putting a strain on their finances as the world's two largest economies have increased tariffs on each other as they negotiate trade terms. This is not the first time that farmers have been collateral damage from Trump's pursuit of tariffs.
Mr. President, furloughs are very typical when the government shuts down. Why is the administration directing federal layoffs of federal workers this time around?
Well, this is all caused by the Democrats. They asked us to do something that's totally unreasonable. They never change. They want to give money away to illegally, people that entered our country illegally. They want to give them massive federal money. And we don't want to do that because it means everyone's going to just keep pouring back. Right now we have absolutely perfect borders like you haven't seen in many years. Even better than I had great borders during my 4 years, but these borders are stone cold closed. You can only come into our country legally now. It's all ended now. But this is what Schumer wants. This is what the Democrats want. They want to have, and they want to take our money. We're doing well because of tariffs. We're doing unbelievable. We're making more money than we ever have made. And by the way, we're going to take some of that tariff money that we made, just to get off the subject for a second. We're going to take some of that tariff money that we made. We're going to give it to our farmers, who are, for a little while, going to be hurt until it kicks in. The tariffs kick into their benefit. So we're going to make sure that our farmers are in great shape because we're taking in a lot of money. We're finding, the other day, it was very interesting, they found $31 billion. They said, "Sir, we found 31. I said, "You mean positively, right?" They said, "Yeah, 31 million more than we knew." And they said, "We don't know where it came from." I said, "Check the tariff shelf." They came back the following morning. They said, "You're right, sir, it came from the tariffs." We've never seen anything like this. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking some money from all of the tariff money that we've taken, and we're going to distribute it to our farmers until the tariffs kick into their benefit, which ultimately the farmers are going to be making a fortune. But it's a process of, it has to kick in. All right, maybe one more.
There was another shooting at an ICE facility in Texas yesterday.
Terrible.
Detainees were killed. The FBI director posted on social media bullets that were engraved with the message anti-ICE.
Right.
Who do you hold responsible for the uptick in left-wing violence in the country?
Radical left rhetoric. The radical left is causing the problem. They're out of control. They're saying things, and they're really dumb people. I mean, I look at Crockett. I look at some of these people. They're very low IQ people, actually. But the radical left is causing this problem, not the right, the radical left. And it's going to get worse, and ultimately it's going to go back on them. I mean, bad things happen when they play these games. And I'll give you a little clue. The right is a lot tougher than the left. But the right's not doing this. They're not doing it, and they better not get them energized, because it won't be good for the left. And I don't want to see that happen either. I'm the president of all the people. But the radical left is causing this. Radical left Democrats are causing this problem, and it gets worse. It gets worse, and it'll be a point where other people won't take it anymore, and that will not be good for the radical left, and we don't want that.